All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and in my last video I created an electronic portfolio using Mobirise. You can see it on your screen right now. Yeah, that is me. All right, and this is the kind of thing you'd have in your About section. Here I can click here when this runs and I can download a copy of my resume. Here's some examples of my portfolio, and I should have played with this. I didn't, but I should have played with this some more because I think with the block parameters, with this gap, there is a way to set this thing up so that I could have centered it, but I didn't do it the way I should have. Okay, you might have to take a look at that yourselves. And I've got a little contact form and a follow us on social media and the footer on the bottom. So what I'd like to attempt to do right now, I'm going to close this. All right, and I'm going to close this and this and this and this and this. Okay. So what I'm going to attempt to do right now is to take this whole project that I've just been working on and put it out to my GitHub account into Github Pages. All right, and we'll see if we can get it to work. I haven't done this in a year. All right, so it's going to be interesting. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab everything that's in here. I'm going to first come in and I'm going to create a brand new folder. And I'm going to name this dist, D-I-S-T, for distribution. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to grab everything that's in here. I'm hoping this is going to work. I haven't tried this before with Mobirise, but we'll see. And I'm going to paste that in here. All right, so that's everything. Okay, let's see. So I made the folder, copied everything over there. I'm going to do everything inside of my dist folder in just a minute. So again, there it is. Okay, right there. So again, you'll need to go out and load one more piece of software, but I'm going to remove the one that I have. So I'm going to again go out to Control Panel. And what you want is a piece of software that's called Node or Node.js. But I'm going to come out here to my Programs and Features. I know I've got Node.js out here. There it is. And was in September, so it's kind of old probably. It's 14.17.6, but I'm going to uninstall it. It'll take just a second. Of course, you can check on yours. Go out to Control Panel under Programs and Features, see if you've already got that. If you do, all right, you can use that, or you can remove it and put the most latest up-to-date version. See how long it takes to do this. All right, basically, boom. Come on, half of it's done. Normally it doesn't even take this long. And there's about 8 or 9 steps we're going to have to go through here. And we've actually gone through step 1 already, and that was creating the dist folder and moving everything in there. All right. Probably one thing I should have done over here with this portfolio is I probably should have pushed that out to regular GitHub. So I'm going to come in here. This is my portfolio, my Jeff Scott portfolio. I'm going to right mouse click on that, and I'm going to choose Git Bash here, and I'm going to type in git init. All right, so I've now got my .git folder right there. And I'll say git add dot, that'll add everything, git commit -m, and I'll put Jeff Scott E portfolio for 2022. Doesn't matter what you really put there. So there's my commit, that's good. Then I want to come back out to my GitHub repository. So github.com, let me double check. I think this was just called, again, it is Jeff Scott Portfolio. Okay. So I'm going to make, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make a new, as soon as you let me, come on. I'm going to make a new repository. I'll click the plus sign here and new repository. I shouldn't have one called Jeff Scott Portfolio. Okay, put that, I'll make it public, etc. Just click create. There's a bunch of other stuff that we've got to get into in here that you can do also. Let's not talk about that right now. Let's copy this remote thing. All right, and put that in here. I always like to check with a git remote -v. All right, finally my git push -u origin. Yours will either be main or -master. Hit enter. It'll spin for a couple seconds. There, it's done. When I refresh, that should now be in here, and you'll notice that it is. Okay, so all that stuff is done. All right, so now I have removed MobiRise. It is gone. So when you look on here under Programs and Features, I shouldn't say MobiRise, I've removed Node.js. It's not in here anymore. So I'm going to close that. In fact, I've got two of those open. So I'm going to close that one too. Then I'm going to come out here and I'm going to type in, open up a new window, and I'm going to put in here Node.js download. All right, and it'll come up to, well, that's interesting. This is what I want, the download node.js. All right, and there's two things in here, LTS and current. You want the one for LTS, the limited term support, that one right there. All right, and I would suggest that you just choose the Windows installer. That's fine, so I'm going to click here. It's going to put it down here. I'm going to right mouse click and say open when done. This again is step 2. All right, so it'll push me through the process. Accept the agreement, next. That's fine, next, 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 install. Again, you may get that thing that comes up that asks for admin permission, you may not. So what are we, 15, 30 seconds in total on this? All right, finish. So I'm done. Now, I'm not done with everything, but I'm done with my node install. So that's step 2. All right, from here, in the dist folder. So open up my dist folder. And in here, I want to open up a git bash window here, right there, and do a new, right mouse click and choose git bash here. All right, what we're about to do wouldn't work if you had not downloaded Node first. And we want to type in npm, which is the Node package manager, init. And if we just hit enter now, it would ask us a bunch of questions. We just want to accept the defaults. So we're going to say -y, hit enter, and it's going to create a file for us. It created a file in here called package.json. And if we look at it, that's what it created. Okay? Don't worry what any of this stuff means. It's totally fine. It should be fine. Everything should be fine. So I'm going to close this. All right. So that was, we're still in step 2. All right. So from our window here, I'm going to close this. This is the old one that I used. So I'm going to exit this just so there's no confusion. And I got another one, so I'm going to exit that. This is the one that we just brought up. I just typed in that npm init -y. So from here, I'm now going to type in npm I gh-pages. That means from the Node Package Manager, I means install, gh-pages means I want to install GitHub Pages. So I want to load that package. Hit enter, it'll take a second, and my prompt here will come back in just a second. There it is. Now, if I bring up that package.json file again, you'll notice that I now have GitHub Pages available to me in this particular thing I'm working on. It also added some other stuff you don't have to worry about now, but it added a package lock JSON file and added this node modules folder. Don't worry about those for right now. All right, let's see. Let's go back into our package.json file. All right, and where we have all of this stuff here, all right, we're going to put in we're going to add something at the very bottom here. Don't know if it'll matter where we do it because this doesn't look like it did the last time I ran this, which is totally fine. All right, but I'm going to come in here and I'm going to, at the very bottom, I'm going to come in and type in homepage, https:// you need your GitHub name right here. All right, you need your GitHub name right there. If you're not sure what it is, you just go back into GitHub, and there it is. Okay. Don't need to repeat that. So that's everything. And again, this was called Jeff Scott Portfolio. All right, that's going to be my homepage. That's what I want because it should bring up index.html by default. All right. Also, in this script section, I want to come up here and I don't need this line. Don't worry about what it means. We go through this in our AWD1100 class. But for now, I want to come in here and type in this. So get rid of that line and replace it with deploy, colon, make sure you put a space there, GH-pages -d dot. So we're putting this on GitHub Pages, and the destination is where we currently are, for lack of better words. Okay, so save this. All right, now what ends up happening when we added those things to GitHub is we now have a file in here called node modules, and if you look at it, it's 4-point-some meg. We don't technically need that file in our project. So to tell the system that we don't need that file in our project, we're going to come in here. I'm going to add a new file. All right, and you want to call this, make sure there's no .txt on the end, just dot, so a period, git ignore. So we're going to tell Git in here that we want it to ignore certain files. Do I want to change the extension? You betcha. So there it is. Open that file up in your editor of choice and just put in there, let's see, node_modules, which says we don't want to load that node modules file in there in our project, okay? All right, so we've got that, and that's what we just added right there. So I have now gone through 3 steps. Go to your GitHub account and make a new repo. I already did that. Copy the git remote add origin line to the clipboard. I did that. Do the typical Git stuff. I did that. Verify this worked. I did that. All right, so I'm now up to step 6 of 8. So it says here, from your node.js command line, which is right here, we'll see if this works momentarily. Type in npm run deploy and hit enter. And of course it gave me an error. Oh my goodness. Dist package.json. Dist package.json. And it's got that going the wrong way. I'm not sure why that is. Unexpected string while parsing. Name dist. So let's look at our package.json file. Pages, name is dist. That all should be okay. So what did that error say? Oh, goodness. All that's supposed to happen next is I'm supposed to be able to push this and then go to GitHub and take a look at it. All right? So why did it fail? I don't know. Failed to parse JSON data. Package.json must be actual JSON, not just JavaScript. Well, there's my package.json. I'm wondering if it doesn't like where I put this. I may have to try to move that into here. I don't know. Let's try to do that and see if that fixes it. GitHub, JP Scott Rankin. That actually is all correct. All right. So I'm going to put a comma here. I'm going to try to add that line right here, like that. I didn't think something like that would matter. I could very well be wrong. Let me close this and try to do my deploy again. If I get another error, I'm kind of stuck right now as to what to do. Clear. Failed to get remote origin URL. Task must be run in a Git repository. Task must be run in a Git repository. All right, we may have to put in a Git repository here, so let's do that. All right, so I'm going to come in here and do, from here, I'll click Git init. Okay, now let's see if it'll work. Still failed. Task must be run in a Git repository with a configured origin remote, or must be configured with the repo option. Again, as always, when I did this last time, ran like a charm. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll grab this and we'll make it, we're going to make a thing called dist. We're going to do that right now. So, I did not have to do this last time. It's been a year since I've done this. That's not an excuse. If it is, it's a rotten one. All right, so git bash. I've done that. I've got my git init. So let's come in here and do a git add dot git commit Jeff Scott ePortfolio for GitHub Pages. Need a -m in there. That's done. I need to go back into Git then and create yet another repo. Don't know why. Again, I did not have to do this last time. But dist. Boom. Looks good. I'm going to grab this. Run that command right here. Do my git remote -v to make sure it worked. It did. Do my git push -u origin master. That should all be pushed now. Refresh this. I should have a thing called dist. That's all in there. All right. Come back to here. Let's clear this and let's try this again. If this doesn't work, I don't even know what to tell you. The good news is it's waiting, so hopefully it's deploying it right now to GitHub Pages. This should come back momentarily. If it comes back, okay, it says published. Good. All right. So I can close all this stuff, and I'm going to go back out to GitHub. All right. And in GitHub, I want to go to Settings. I always forget how to go there. I think it's from here, Settings. Okay. And I want to scroll down, because if I scroll down long enough, it says GitHub Pages. If I keep going and keep going and keep going, there it is. All right. It says now has its own dedicated tab. Check it out here. So I'm going to check it out there. GitHub Pages. It says as your site is ready to be published. All right. Gave me an error. So let's see. Designed to host this, etc. Choose a theme. This is all new. None of that stuff was in there before. Select a theme to publish your site with a Jekyll theme. Choose your theme. Choose minimal. And I never have seen any of this stuff before, so. Selected the theme. It says your site is ready to be published. Your Github Pages is currently being built. Okay. Now what should happen in here is when this is all built, I'm on dist right now, and it's giving me this. All right, but again, I should be able to come over to my settings. Should be able to go down. As I mentioned, this is all new. I should have checked it before. Change visibility. It's currently public. I want that public. Transfer, etc. I haven't seen any of this stuff before. Page settings, I'll check it out here. Yeah. Your site is published. There it is. It's out on Github Pages. So if you want to see this, I don't know why you'd want to, but if you do, you can now go out here. Okay? Now, that was quick. You may have to watch this a couple times, and for those of you who have never done this before, if you try doing it and it doesn't work, you send me a message, an email. I'll be more than happy to work with you to get it to work. That's it for this particular video. This is Jeff Scott. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Goodbye.